What's going on, guys? Today we're talking about 12 game-changing n8n automations that I think you're absolutely gonna love. Most of these I use every single day. With that being said, just before we dive into showcasing all of these, I just wanna let you know every single one of the blueprints are gonna be down below in the description for free. You're gonna see links to other videos. In those videos, you'll see the step-by-step tutorial as well as the blueprints to those systems. Now, all of these combined save me hours and hours and hours every single week. I'm sure they can have the same effect on you as well, and I'm really excited to share this content with you. Let's dive into it right now. First one is simple. It's actually automating the process of cleaning up your Gmail inbox. So if you're like me, you're probably like drowning inside Gmails every single day. And one of the things is like, I just love the idea of organizing my inbox by essentially labeling them. And so that's exactly what this automation does. When you receive an email through Gmail, it's going to automatically classify that email of one of many categories. And the categories are the labels over here. So I have like calendar and recruitment and school and all these other kind of labels. And so what happens is when emails come in, they're automatically labeled. Sometimes I create draft responses to them. So if we kind of come back into this inbox here, you can see down here, there's a draft email. Sometimes I automatically send emails back. Sometimes I forward off emails to my accountant, so on and so forth. And sometimes when you get those like annoying e-commerce emails on your birthday being like, happy birthday, would you like to spend an extra $20 on stuff you don't need? You can also either delete those or you can just mark them as read, which is really cool. So saves a ton of time. Now you'll notice too that it also doesn't like kind of remove everything from the common inbox. You can do that. You could put them into the given labels, but I actually like having like a primary inbox where everything comes in so I can see it in one feed. The next automation that I want to talk about is something that is probably one of the highest impact automations that you could possibly build, which is also consequently like one of the easiest freaking things you could possibly build on n8n. So this is a speed to lead workflow. If you run a service-based business, so take for example my business here. If you run a service-based business like this, people are going to inquire about your products or services. They're going to fill out their first name and their last name and all these other details, and then they're going to click a button saying, let's talk. And you've got a lead, right? Now the thing is that if you call that person within 60 seconds, you increase your conversion rate by up to 391%. If you wait 24 hours, you pretty much lose all of that advantage. You could make 4 times as much money just by calling faster, by doing no extra work. Let me show you how this works. I have this particular form in front of me. I'm going to first of all start this workflow and wait for a response and then submit a quote form. And in a matter of a couple seconds, this workflow is going to start. It's going to activate the trigger, add that client into our CRM, start a call, and I'm also going to get a message notifying me. Here's the call coming in. Here's Gandalf. Here's the message from the call.
Just inquired about your services. Please press any key on the keypad to connect into a call with Jono.
And I could connect into the call with the client. Right now I'm the sales rep by clicking any key on the keypad. And now I'd call the client, which you can see on my phone here. I'm also calling myself. This is just an example where I'm the client and I'm also the sales rep. But yeah, that's how fast it can be. Like literally 15 seconds, you can like be the first person to call that person. And more than 50% of sales goes to the first company that actually calls the client. The reason why you heard Gandalf there was just because I got this notification right here where essentially I was notifying myself of a lead coming through. I don't know if you can see my phone there, but I have a lead just with all the information of this particular client. This is another way around it where if you don't want to call yourself immediately, you could just send yourself a text message and then you call that lead literally in the span of like 15 seconds. On the back end, this is what it looks like to call them. We're sending data to Go High Level, and then we're automatically calling people in a matter of 10 seconds. Go High Level costs $97 a month. It's quite expensive, but in my community, I offer this on $1 plans. I wish I could actually give it away for free, but the minimum to automatically set it up and install this for people was $1. So that's kind of what it is. If you guys want that, you can join my community. The next thing here is this Google Maps scraper. So if you guys are in the business of having to generate leads, sell those leads, or if you're just, that's the lifeblood of your business, which is most service-based businesses, I'm sure you'll love this one as well. So this one scrapes Google Maps listings. So for example, Take this. Maybe you need to reach out to Toronto landscapers. And in the good old days, you'd have to go through all of these listings one by one by one. And I don't think there's a single human soul on this planet that would enjoy the process of going through this one by one by one. It would be slightly soul crushing, I think, to say the least. But with an automation like this, we can schedule it. So every single day it goes through, scrapes those leads off of Google Maps. It even grabs things like their email address by actually going a step further, not just the listing here, but also to the website page, because they have the website here, they don't have emails listed. And then it adds these leads over to this Google sheet right here. You could take it a step further, connect it into Instantly, which is a cold email outreach platform, which means that you could scrape hundreds or even thousands of leads instantly without doing any work pretty much once it's set up. And then you could email these people as well. You could even throw in AI and customize and personalize the emails that you're sending out. If you guys want access to that Go High Level account, you can join my school community. It's gonna be in the description down below here. Funny thing is it's actually cheaper than signing up for a Go High Level account in general. All of these blueprints plus so many more are going to be in this community, as well as weekly calls. If you guys are ever looking for like tech support, you can jump on our calls or live workshops where we build things out together, as well as business calls as well. The primary objective of this is two paths: people that want to earn money using AI and automation, so selling it, and the second one is for operators of businesses who want to automate all of the work they're currently doing manually right now. Moving on, the next workflow is for job seekers. So if you're out there, you're looking for new jobs, you know how big of a pain in the ass it is. There's nothing that sucks more than having to go through hundreds or even thousands of job listings just to find the right ones. And then once you find the right ones, then you have to apply to them, create cover letters. It's a nightmare. I don't think anyone likes doing that. With this automation, essentially how this works is we schedule it so that every single day you can search through job boards like LinkedIn, and you can find the right positions you're looking for. In this example, we're using SEO and we're using the location Canada. And so it's going to pull in all of these job listings here via an RSS feed that we created. This is a custom RSS feed via rss.app. And then we're essentially feeding it into this workflow. Now, how this works is we generate tons of information about the job. We actually rate the job on a 1 to 5 scale so that you can prioritize the ones that you actually like. And then we create cover letters that are customized to that job and then post it into a Google Sheet here so that you can focus on applying to the highest rated jobs with a custom cover letter. How this practically works is we take a snapshot of your resume and then compare it to the job, and then we just see, hey, on certain categories, like, is this, a good fit for you? And if so, then here's a cover letter, all that kind of stuff. So obviously saves a ton of time, not only in searching for these jobs, but then also in the application process of generating the cover letters, which is super nice. The next one is this ChatGPT n8n connection. I think this is so freaking cool. Essentially, you can connect ChatGPT into n8n. And so instead of actually interacting with ChatGPT, you can do this instead of going into n8n, you can literally just do this all from within ChatGPT. You could also do this in Claude as well, in case you guys want to use that. So both options are available, and I have blueprints on both of these, but essentially in ChatGPT, you do need to be on a plus plan. So take this example. Let's say I uploaded a receipt and then I said, can you please process this receipt? And I say please here to ChatGPT just because I'm Canadian and there's no other reason for that. And then it essentially asks for my permission. It will take out all of the line items here from that receipt. And then it'll process that and add it into this Google Sheet right here. Just take out the total, the tax, the quantity, the description, title, everything. And it's really nice because it's going line item by line item through that receipt as well. And so obviously super cool stuff. Next one is this AI agent that could literally manage your entire life. This is just like a couple of examples of things that it could do. So for example, it could make calls on your behalf. It could manage your calendar. It could manage your Gmail. It could manage your social media posting. It could manage your to-do list on Airtable. It could also manage document parsing, like receipts or invoices, all that kind of stuff. So super cool. Here's just one example with the document parsing here. We could, or in this document, we could actually, it's not parsing as much as it's sending off receipt or invoices to people. So say you have a meeting with a client, goes well, you want to send off a receipt, or sorry, an invoice to them. All you have to do is you just have to message your assistant inside something like Telegram, which is going to fire off this bot to go down the document sub-agent. Essentially from there, you can send off this contract straight to their email instantaneously, which contains a contract in an invoice. Now, this is just like a sample contract, as you can see by it saying logo here. Probably wouldn't want to send that off to a client, but yeah, it's super cool to set up, super easy as well, and super powerful. This is an example of like one of the sub agents. So this main AI agent has multiple sub AI agents connected into it. This is an example of that. And so you could ask it, hey, can you create a calendar event for me at 11 a.m. tomorrow for coffee? And it'll go ahead and just do that. So you can have like sub agent or AI agent inception, where there's like stacks of AI agents managing each other, which is really, really cool. And that's going to be in the description down below for free as well. You could also have another sub agent managing your Airtable. So for example, you could be like, hey, remind me tomorrow or tonight to cook dinner at 5 p.m. And it'll add that to your to-do list, assign yourself, and assign a priority to that as well. The next thing that I want to talk about here is you can actually do voice AI calling. This could be outbound calling. This could be inbound calling. There's so many options. In this particular workflow, what you can do is you could be like, hey, just find me like 5 hairdressers in Toronto. It'll go scrape those hairdressers from Google Maps, and then you can call your favorite one to book an appointment. This is kind of like just a demo of how the software works. AI calling, just as a disclaimer, isn't perfect at the time of this recording. Could very well be, it's obviously going to get way better in the future, but just kind of take it with a grain of salt. But essentially, this is a demo of how this works. So this is going to be an example of what that voice AI agent sounds like. I'm just going to go ahead and pick this up. Hello?
Hello, I'd like to book a dinner reservation tonight.
Okay, perfect. At what time?
Great. Anytime between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. would be great. Do you have a table by the window available?
Yep.
If not, any spot within...
Yep, we have a window table available at 6:30. Does that work for you?
That works perfectly. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Can I get a name?
Yes, the reservation is for Jono. Thank you.
Okay, I'll see you then. Thanks very much. Bye-bye. And so obviously, you know, not out of this world perfect yet, but for the year 2025, I think that's really freaking cool. Obviously, it's only going to get better as time goes on. And so that's just an example of how you can use an AI agent. The next thing that I want to talk about here, and by the way, this is powered by Vapi up here. The next thing we're going to talk about is adding a custom chatbot onto your website. Like you can see here, I actually had just moved my face over because my face was definitely in the way of this. And so essentially we have this chatbot, okay? This is like adding ChatGPT to your website, so you can have an LLM on your website interacting with your particular clients. Now, it doesn't just have to be something where they chat back and forth. You can add so many different tools to this. So for example, you could send your clients an invoice. So I could say, please, as the client, I could say, please send me over an invoice. And just like how this would work is maybe like you'd have like your packaging on the website here, the client sees something they like and they're like, hey, okay, this is good, I want to move forward. They ask the chatbot to send it over. And so I'm going to provide my name, and then I'm going to provide my email address here, and then it's going to go ahead, work its magic, send that over to me, and then I can take a look at my email, see an invoice coming through this, and then I could go ahead and pay and sign all within a matter of a couple seconds. Now, it doesn't just have to send over contracts or invoices. It could also go ahead and schedule calendar invites between that person and your sales rep on your team, which is also really cool. And this is just a couple things that it could do. The next thing that I want to talk about here is a invoice generator. So actually that's probably the worst name I could have come up with, because that's not what it does at all. This parses receipts, and specifically those receipts could be images or they could be PDF files. And so the trick here is that we need to take PDFs, we need to take images, and we need to convert those file types into text, and then we need to essentially extract all the line items and place it into a Google Sheet like this. This is great if you deal with a lot of receipts or invoices. A lot of tech companies will just essentially send you invoices monthly for your subscription, right? And if you're like me and you have that like software creep where you just have like 1,000,001 softwares every single month, this is great because all of a sudden you can just get those emails coming through. You could attach it to something like this and then automatically extract it and put it into line items here. So really freaking cool stuff. The next one here is a RAG system. So this is like an AI chatbot that you train on the history of your company. This is like the most intelligent employee you've ever hired. Essentially how this works is, think about like the process of actually hiring an employee. Firstly, you're going to onboard them. You're going to train them on the pricing and the contracts, the invoices, how you message people. You're going to train them on the standard operating procedures. Every single thing about your company, you're going to train that person on. And similarly, you train a RAG system on essentially the same things. So you train the RAG system. It has information about every single possible interaction that your company's ever had. And then what happens now is you can set up a chatbot where people can message this system, and it will give that user back the most appropriate message to the question. So for example, I have this contract here. This is a contract for DJ, photo, and video services. And so I could ask it specific questions about this chat. So I could be like, I'm just gonna refresh this chat. What services are offered? It's going to go ahead and look at the memory storage, find the information about that contract, and then spit it back out. We offer DJ services, photo services, video services. You could take a look at the contract here, and it says DJ services, right here, and then it says photo services as well as video services down here. So it will literally give you custom tailored responses back based on the information you provide it with. So you could train this on your entire company and then have like a really intelligent bot that knows everything about your company. Really cool stuff. The next thing here is recruitment. And so what I've done is I've set up a custom Google Sheets dashboard. Now this automates the entire process of recruitment for me, because what ended up happening was like I was hiring thousands of people. As you can see here, it's like actually tens of thousands of people. And it was obviously overwhelming. It felt like a full-time job doing this. So I was like, how can I automate this whole process? And here's how it works. Essentially, people come in from Indeed. This is one of my favorite places to hire from. People apply to jobs, and as soon as they apply to jobs, I'll automatically get their information and put them onto this particular spreadsheet here. From there, we have the entire life cycle stage of their recruitment process. So the first thing is they actually come onto the sheet, and then we have to ask them onboarding questions. Onboarding questions are like this. We send them off a form and we're like, hey, can you tell us more about yourself? Can you provide us with a resume? Can you provide us with maybe a portfolio link? Can you tell us how many years you've been doing what you've been doing for? What's your expected salary? All of that kind of stuff. And then from there, once they actually submit those questions, this will be marked as complete. And then the next thing is that we actually have to screen those people. And so that's the next step. This can be automated too, like you could automatically screen their resume. But for me, I just like to quickly do a once over just to make sure that they're the right fit for the next stage, which is a test. This is where we test their skills in whatever position they're hiring for. So for example, if you're a blog writer, write me a couple blogs. If you're a photo editor, edit some photos for me, that kind of stuff. As long as they pass the tests and it's good to go, it looks good, then we can schedule an interview. This is all automated. Then we can have a second interview and so on and so forth. And so that's a really easy way how you can automate a task or a process that takes hours every single day. You can also automate the appointments and all that kind of stuff too. When it comes to hiring people, because obviously you're going to have to do interviews, and this is a great way to automate that as well. Lastly, I want to talk about just the same thing again, kind of just in a different aspect. It's custom dashboards in Google Sheets. And so you can supercharge Google Sheets here and essentially turn them into custom dashboards where you can automate any process that you want. So in this instance, this is for like photo video editing. So we have a lot of projects coming onto the sheet, and we have a custom dashboard that we've created, and we can supercharge sheets like this by clicking, like adding these buttons on here. And again, like the last example, anytime we click these buttons, we can actually cause actions. So if I was to click this, for example, I could then all of a sudden send off the client an email being like, hey, here's your editing project. We've completed your photos, we've completed your videos or whatever, and then send that off immediately to them. So you can supercharge Google Sheets and get so much additional functionality out of it that you didn't know. And the cool thing about this is there's two parts to this. Part number one is that you can add information onto the Google Sheet. So you can automatically update this Google Sheet in real time, right? You can add stuff to it. You can update those rows over time. So like, for example, this person could be added, and then we could actually automatically update them over time if we wanted to. And then lastly, we could check a box to start a second workflow here, where as soon as that box is checked, we could send emails, we could send invoices, we could do whatever it is that we want. And so we can really just make our own pretty much custom software through Google Sheets. So anyways, I just think that's really cool. That is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more videos, more blueprints, and more value, I'd highly recommend taking a look at the school community over here. Again, it's just a great place to take your automation game to the next level, learn how to sell this kind of stuff, or automate your entire business. The cool thing is, again, is that not only do you get access to all that information, but you also have a thriving community of like-minded individuals where you can learn and grow with. And also you can get access to our weekly calls. So if you ever hit a roadblock, which sometimes takes like 10 hours to get over, you can just jump on a call with me and I'll help you solve the problem ASAP. So thanks guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this appearing in your feed. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Thanks very much, and bye-bye.